how's it going, man?
How about them apples? Good, man. How you doing?
Dude, you know what? It's Sunday. I'm going to talk to you and talk about some fucking metal, about your new album. We're going to go get some fucking brunch, watch the NFL games. It's going to be a great day, man.
That's sweet. Are you guys buried in snow? Where are you?
I'm in Ashland, Oregon, dude. We were buried in snow about 3 weeks ago.
Cool. That's good times.
Oh, yeah. Are you buried in snow right now, too? Or what?
Yeah. I just got back from practice and the car was sliding all over the damn place. It was like Mario Kart. It's all good.
Oh, shit.
Ohio shit.
That's hella crazy, dude. I never have the balls to drive in snow, dude. I just have the one time I got caught on black ice, I was driving my 4Runner and like it completely took me off and threw me off the side of the mountain just because I decided to go to work early because 5 minutes later the plow came by and cleaned the road.
See, dude, that goes to show going to work early is never worth it.
No, it was stupid, but dude, I want to tell you a little bit about myself. I host a show in Ashland, Oregon called the Metal Mixtape. We promote local bands, global bands. Doesn't matter if you have 100 likes, 1 million likes. We're here to support you, and we do it all for free and for the love of metal, man.
Outstanding. That's awesome.
Yeah, dude, I'm super excited about this interview too, man, because as soon as I mentioned that I was going to talk to you, I had a bunch of people reaching out my friends in Portland saying oh, dude, they always stick around and talk and hang out with us and talk metal. And then I had my friends in Warpath in San Diego go those guys are super sick, dude. They just talk to you and, and they just love metal. So for me, I'm just let's fucking do this, man. And so thank you so much, Steve, for being on the show, man.
Oh, right. No problem. It's good to meet you, man.
Yeah, and by the way, I'm super excited that you're going to be at Hawthorne Theater March 5th in Portland, Oregon. So that's going to be fucking badass as well.
Yes, sir. Returning to Portland, man. I love that town.
Dude, hell yeah, dude. Well, dude, there's so much to talk about, dude. I already looked into you so much, and I saw how you got your upbringings in drums, playing some jazz drums at a very young age and growing up. And so for the fans out there, we're talking to Steve. He plays drums for the band IMMOLATION. They have a badass album, Acts of God, coming out February 18th. And dude, dude, you're a badass drummer, but very short for the fans out there in Ashland, Oregon. Tell us a little bit about yourself, man.
I was born and raised in Northeast Ohio, always within 15 minutes from Lake Erie. So I'm kind of a lake person. I don't know. I don't feel right when I'm not around the water. But it's kind of a rural, semi-rural area out here. The closest real city is Cleveland. That's the biggest, city near us. And that's kind of where I went to cut my teeth in the music scene. Just put together a band out of high school and tried to push it. And we did well locally to the point where we got signed to Unique Leader Records. And that kind of got us a lot of national attention, so that when IMMOLATION was looking for a drummer, they were kind of under the gun as far as time went, and they were running out of people to ask to fill in because they had to do it in a short amount of time for a tour. And so they ended up talking to the guys at Unique Leader, and they put my name forward and some other people that they knew that had grown up in Cleveland and seen me play with my bands out here vouched for me as well. So with that's why they called me and asked me if I could do it. And, I just kind of jumped on the opportunity. I knew it was a clutch situation where I was going to have to play. I had to learn the songs in 3 days. And then the fourth day was the first day of tour. So yeah, it was kind of clutch or whatever, but it was great. It was a blast. It was, one of the best times I ever had in my life. Got to the end of the road, and I was just if you guys ever need anything again, let me know. I got along with those guys great. And sure enough, they ended up calling me back to do the next album, and they wanted me to stick with the crew. So I've been with them since 2003.
Dude, that's super sick, dude. So, dude, so like you said, they hit you up, you did all these tours, you had to learn the songs in 3 days, and on the fourth day you were already touring. Was there something you had to learn, or a lesson you learned the very first show you played, maybe being rushed into a situation, or or were you already pretty polished and comfortable where you were just like, I'm gonna knock out this first show?
No. So the 3 days before that show, I spent in the garage just playing to the CDs. And then on one or two nights, Bob would come home after work and play a little bit with me. But other than that, I hadn't played with the band at all. I never played with Ross. I never played with Bill. I never played with the band as a whole, playing through those songs. So yeah, I was super nervous, man. I was like, wow, what's this going to be like? And I realized right away, they did too, that they were used to playing like live band speeds. Like that lineup was, with the drummer that I filled in for, had been playing together for a long time. They had just got done doing a lot of touring. And the more you play these songs live, the faster they get, you know what I'm saying? So they were playing stuff super fast, and I was playing to the album speeds, so they kicked into it and they were like, whoa. And they described it as like playing underwater. They felt like they were playing underwater, you know what I mean? But we both kind of immediately started to make adjustments and stuff like that, because everybody involved was a seasoned player, you know what I mean? So you just kind of make your adaptations, and right away started getting a lot of compliments on it, because it did sound more like the albums, you know what I mean? And all the songs and the parts had the same groove, which when you play them like super fast, it starts to lose that a little bit. So it worked out good. Man. Yeah.
Dude, that's super awesome, dude. So, dude, a lot of us musicians, dude, we always have like that. I don't know. I feel like a lot of my friends I've talked to, like, we always have like that one big show that always pushes us over the edge, where maybe like we're playing with like an idol or a band we look up to, or a big influence. Was there a band like that for you, like when you played a show with or shared the stage with, where you were just like hell yeah, like I really want to perform this show because I know this guy is looking?
So many, man. So many. Dude, and when we do the festivals in Europe and stuff like that, like during the summer, everyone has got, a handful of dudes that are just total assassins, you know what I mean? And peers of yours and stuff like that. And especially in the first, handful of years that I was with the band, I was getting to share the stage with, like my idols up to that point, and I was just ticking them off the list. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've met the Malevolent guys, Cannibal Corpse, Napalm Death, Deicide, all these bands. I was like, holy shit. Yeah. Finally, just a few years ago, we finally got to do a little touring with Morbid Angel, which was sweet, dude. That was like the one holdout that I never played with. I was like, oh my god, Morbid. Yeah, so all those bands, because I was a huge death metal fan before I joined Immolation. So I was listening to Immolation tapes back in the day before they knew who the hell I was, you know what I mean? And for a long time and hard, practicing the albums and stuff like that. That's why I said when they called me and they were like, yeah, you got 3 days, I was like, cool, because I knew a lot of the stuff. I was practicing that stuff already, or had practiced it, in the past and stuff like that. So yeah, so I was like a huge fan. So to join the band and then start touring and playing shows with all my heroes at the time, dude, it was just amazing. Still freaks me out, dude. Like we saw Luke LeMay from Gorguts on the last tour we did, the North American tour with Blood Incantation, and we met him up in Canada. He came out to the show, dude, and I was like, I was getting choked up. I was really like super fanboy for that guy and his band. You know what I mean? So it happens still all the time. All the time.
Dude, and that's insane because like you're talking about how like you get super excited, but like you still keep the tempo of the album, like stay solid. What is there like a ritual you have to like perform in your brain before you get on stage to like, because like you're saying, there are all these cool people, you're playing with all these badass bands, but you're getting these compliments because you're really keeping the tempo of the grooves of the album. Like, is there a ritual you have to do for yourself before you hit the stage?
Yeah, every day or every show anyway. Yeah, I do like I get ready physically, and I've got like my regimen or whatever that I go through. But yeah, mentally just like getting ready to go. I've tried to learn to not let that affect me. You know what I'm saying? So like,
Yeah.
if I'm playing a show and I know John Longshot's going to be standing there, I try not to make me play like, you know, over my head, you know, because I used to be that way, you know, big time. You know, I would get really, really freaked out. Like the one time before I learned the lesson, I was in the studio doing an album for Odious Sanction, and I had like, you know, all my friends from the scene were there. You know what I mean? Like they were just kind of, I don't know, hanging out in the studio, watching me do my drum tracks, which is just not, I don't know, that's not a good way to work, especially for someone like me, because I was like, I was going crazy and stuff like that, and I had to learn. You know, I mean, I listened back to it, said, okay, that was a little wild. Like, can't let that get to you. You know what I mean? So
No, I dig it, dude. So dude, so for us musicians out there and for the people out there that don't know the behind the scenes for these like massive festivals, how is it like? And is it like super fast? Is it a crazy running machine? Like is it just like people and musicians in hallways walking back past each other? Like what's the scene behind those huge festivals in the background?
dude, it's absolutely crazy. Is the most mind-blowing shit. We went to Hellfest 3 years ago, maybe even 4 years ago, I think it was, which is a French festival. And dude, it was huge. It had just, it was ridiculous. They had, everybody was there. Leonard Skinner was playing there. Like I was eating my dinner up in the artist loge or whatever, and just looking out over the crowd, watching Leonard Skinner play like their hits and shit, dude. And it was just nuts. And you'd be walking up and down, like between the dressing rooms, you run into everybody, you know, Phil Anselmo and the guys from Anthrax and all. Here's Gene Hoglan, he's having his breakfast over here. You know what I'm saying? It was just, dude, for someone like me, I was just like, it's so mind blowing. But as far as like how the fests go, though, that stuff is like amazing. The way they have everything set up, you know what I mean? They'll have like someone, like you get your room, you know, and or your building or whatever it happens to be, and you know, someone comes to get you when it's time for stage. You go up to the stage. Like me being the drummer, I'm always rolling up to the stage first, obviously because I got to get the kit ready, and they'll have like separate risers for each kit, like stuff I've never even seen before. You know what I mean? So like, I'll build my kit maybe 45 minutes, an hour before I go on stage, and then when it comes time, they just roll the entire kit that was on stage before me out of there, and then roll me in and just plug me in. You know what I mean? It's just, it's wild. And, you know, get on and off stage the same way. They stick to their schedule. It's they're super pro about it, man. The big European festivals.
Oh yeah, dude. It looks like I disappeared, but I'm still there. Don't worry.
I believe you.
Can you still see me?
No, I'm seeing some other graphics though.
Okay, hold on. That's all right. We're gonna. If you can hear me, that's the good part.
That's all that matters.
So, okay, cool. But dude, there I am. Whoa,
Yeah,
sweet. This technology, dude, I hate it. They keep getting smarter, right?
yeah, I know. I can't keep up.
So, dude, so one of my favorite questions to ask, dude, it's one of like the real questions for like us musicians that maybe want to reach that point where you're at, Steve, and want to do these tours. What is there like a big harsh reality in finally like getting signed and like having to like have all these obligations throughout the year? Like, is there like a certain lesson or something you had to grow in yourself to be able to like be a musician all year round?
Well, you gotta want to do it more than anything else. You know what I mean? It's not all, you know, a bowl of cherries. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of roughness to it. But for me, I've always liked that kind of thing. I've always liked roughing it, kind of. You know what I mean? Especially when you're doing it for the cause, and it's just like, I don't know. So for me, it was cool. You know, touring is not you know, for a death metal band is not as glamorous as it is for like a big time band. You know what I mean? So you got to be ready to sacrifice. So if there's any cracks in your armor, if there's any weakness in your game or whatever, that touring is definitely going to bear that out. You know what I mean? Like you're going to decide pretty soon, like if this is for you or not. You know what I mean? Or how often you could do this or how many times. So, yeah, I mean, you gotta be dedicated. You know what I mean? It's just for me, it's something that I just love to do, regardless of notoriety or fame or how many people are watching me do it, or if anybody's watching me doing it at all. You know what I mean? For me, playing drums is just that way. Like, I love doing it. I like doing it more than anything else. So, you know, if you've got that kind of attitude, you're going to be fine. You know, you'll be fine roughing it and, you know, using public bathrooms for a month and a half straight, you know.
Dude,
Those
but
sorts of things, those sorts of sacrifices, you know what I mean? So,
are the bathrooms, gas station bathrooms, better in Europe than they are in the United States?
they are. However, for the most part, if you're in the European Union, you have to pay to get in there.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
I guess that makes it cleaner, right?
Yeah, no. They stay clean and stuff, but like, you got to go through a turnstile and shit and put your change in there and all that shit. So,
What if like you're about to shit your pants and you can't find your change?
dude, that's the problem. That's a real problem. Yeah. Yeah,
Oh
Alex
man.
all the time. Alex always has to use the restroom at every stop and never has money. You know what I mean? So he's always just like, Bob, got change, Yeah.
Dude, that's fucking funny, dude. So, all right, dude, let's dive into your new album, dude. I listened to this album all the way through. Of course, I have a lot of my favorite songs, Abandoned, Apostle, Let the Darkness In, but my favorite drumming song that I wanted to talk to you about that I really liked was Broken Prey.
Oh, yeah?
Which
Okay.
oh yeah, dude, that song is fucking sick, dude. I love the way you started off the drums. Super, you know what? I'm not a drummer. I'm a guitarist and vocalist, so I'm not gonna try to sound like a smart drummer guy. But I just loved a lot of what you did and the structures there. But for fans out there that know your band Immolation, and for new fans, tell us a little bit about this new album and maybe a track you recommend to the new fans that are listening to you now, and your favorite track.
Ooh, the new fans, huh? Well, Broken Prey is probably my favorite song off the album. That one and Apostle are like tied at this point. I keep changing my mind though. But I spent a long time on Broken Prey. Like most Immolation projects, I don't get to spend as much time on the songs as I did for this album. And that one, I spent months on that album, or on that song, that particular song, like writing it, rewriting the part, recording the part, deciding I didn't like it or I wanted to change it, figuring out what I wanted to change it to, then relearning that part, and you know, and conditioning myself to do it in some cases, you know what I mean, and then re-recording it, and you know, it went like that on and on and on and on and on. But I finally got it to where I wanted. So I love the drum parts on that one. Definitely thought them all out, tried them all out, experimented and stuff. Apostle 2 is like that too, man. Although that was one of the later songs I got. I think that was like the last song that we got, the 13th song or something like that. But by that point in time, we were writing like he was writing all like real burners. Like the last 3 songs I got in a row were just like good songs, you know what I mean? So I had fun with those. Yeah.
So, dude, you guys have been doing like, you know, like these albums for a long time now. Like obviously, like, you know, the scene around is constantly changing, evolving, you know, with people playing like extended range guitars and all that. Like, do you guys ever pay attention to, like, when you guys are writing an album, like, do you guys, for your influences, are you ever paying attention to what's going on around you? Or maybe like now with social media, like you could read like comments on everything. Do you guys ever pay attention to anything? No?
No, man. There's no influence. There's no influence like that. I don't think. Those guys, and Bob's the one that does the writing. You know what I mean? Like he really does have every song kind of figured out in his head when he sends me over the tracks. You know what I mean? So it's kind of his vision. And him and Ross listen to some really whacked out shit. Like, well, I guess it's not whacked out, but it's a lot different than you might expect from a death metal band. You know what I'm saying? I don't get the feeling like they listen to a lot of new stuff that's coming out. So I think that totally escapes them. You know what I mean? I think if any influence is coming in from outside music for Bob, it's coming from a source that you would not think, and it's definitely not a new death metal band, you know what I mean, or anything like that. So like those guys, you know, they asked me about that. They're like, oh, who's, you know, who you listening to now, and who's, you know, who's up and coming, or stuff like that. So yeah, I don't think so. And as far as my drumming goes, one thing I stopped doing that I used to do a lot of is I don't play to anybody else's albums anymore, really. Like I'm always practicing my own stuff or stuff that I'm working on. And
Yeah.
I'm busy enough with that I'm not playing to all the hits, you know, all the great or whoever's coming out, you know what I mean? Which I used to do that. I used to get, you know, a new album come out. I'd love the drumming. I'd study the drumming. I'd start practicing along with it. I've got so much other stuff that I'm working on, you know what I mean, that I need to be spending time on. So I don't do much of that anymore. And so stylistically and influence wise, I'm kind of put myself in a little bit of a vacuum lately. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I was like, so that whole time, that the whole pandemic, when I was writing stuff or writing the drum parts, I was just kind of in my own space, bouncing my own stuff off myself. You know what I mean? I was just like, yeah, you know what I mean? So
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I dig it, dude. I mean, there was so much to think about, you know, being like in the pandemic, and it was really that time where like musicians really had to like figure it out, because I felt that time was like one of those like testing times for musicians too, where like if you really wanted it, you stuck around, you figured out how to make it through, or if not, like a lot of people quit, you know. But that's pretty awesome that like, you know, you stayed honed in, you know, and you kind of, like you said, you keep yourself in this vacuum, you know, stylistically, which I think it's super sick. And that's what keeps you guys with your original sound, which I absolutely love your sound.
yeah, it was
But
perfect
dude,
timing for
you know,
that,
like,
man.
oh yeah. So you know what? With death metal, it's always like a crazy question for me. Like, you know, we grow up, we have kids, we have families, we you know, we go through these things, you know, maybe like we become like happier individuals than when we were little kids. Like, how do you guys keep like that aggression with the music, album through album through album? Because a lot of bands I see, like, they start off really heavy and then they start getting a little softer and softer throughout the end of their career, you know, until they hit this plateau. Like how do you guys keep that aggressiveness, and especially with acts of God?
Well, being off for as long as we were off, that helps a lot. Also, you know, for sure vibing off of what's going on around us, you know what I mean, in the world and at home. That fuels that kind of thing too. And I think we all have super healthy testosterone levels. That helps too, man. You know, it really does. Like, you know, I don't know, you're just less apt to go and do some weird, you know, experimental shit. But it really, like I said before, it lies a lot with Bob, because these are Bob's tunes, you know what I mean? It's his vision. And we just kind of fill in and color in and shade in, you know, what he's got going on there. So yeah, I don't know. And he's such a happy guy, man. So it's just like he comes up with this miserable, hopeless stuff, you know what I mean? But you talk to him and he's just a joker, you know, he's always
Yeah,
smiling.
yeah, no, exactly, and that's always like, you know, anytime I meet any of these like death metal or like black metal guys, they're always like the most cheerful guys. Almost every one of them owns a cat, you know, like just like these super cool guys, but they play these
Yeah.
happy music, and like, you know, I'm like a thrash metal singer, and I try to get a little angrier, and I'm just not that pissed off, man. You know? I don't know how these death metal people would do it on their 10th album. Just like they're just still mad.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Maybe it's something in us too, because we're all kind of the same that way. But it's just like, you know, even when I know, like, you know, I'm very grateful, you know, and lucky to be doing what I'm doing and have what I have and have who I have in my life, et cetera, et cetera. You know what I'm saying? That's all fine and dandy, and I'm not out of touch with that. But even knowing that, I still have points in the day, throughout the day, every day, where I'm just like, you know, I get pissed. I get
Yeah.
agitated, whether it's something stupid like driving or whatever, you know what I mean? It just happens. And so I don't know, man. Maybe some people are just wired that way, so that you know, even when it's rosy, I can still find something to be angsty about. You know, I still feel the need to get that out of me too at the end of the day. So
Yeah.
as long as that's still there, that's an endless supply of risk and angst and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And aggression. So it's cool.
Hell yeah, dude. Well, we're running out of time, dude. We got a couple more minutes. I'm gonna crunch these in. Acts of God coming out February 18th, dude. Super excited to hear. Everybody, please go listen. Broken Praise is my favorite song off of it. That's my #1 pick. I'm gonna shoot you 3 questions. We're gonna try to answer in a minute. Steve, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. In a zombie apocalypse, you only could have one weapon to kill the zombie horde. It's not the cure or the nuke. What is your one weapon?
For personal use?
To kill zombies, yeah.
Yeah, katana.
Katana? Sweet, dude. That's like our #1 answer so far. I think like 70% of artists have chosen katana. So you guys are all gonna live.
Drummers are super hands-on, you know.
All right, dude. If you could choose your death, but it had to be by a villain in a horror movie, who would you choose to kill you, and how would they do it?
Oh my God. Brutal. I want to be eaten by Jaws.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd be gnarly, dude. Just like going in shock after your body bitten off and shit.
Like, yeah. I want to go down in bloody, salty surf. Yeah, being chomped.
Oh man, I'd like to go down like in deep blue sea where like that shark gets Samuel L. Jackson and pulls him down.
It's never fast enough though. With the sharks, it's never fast enough. But
all right. If you could play drums for any band in any era, dead or alive, for one set, what is that one band?
Crowbar.
Crowbar? Hell yeah, dude. Well, Steve, thank you so much, man. I had a great time talking to you, talking about Acts of God coming out February 18th. You have a beautiful fucking day, dude, and fucking metal on, man.
You too, man. Thanks so much. It was a blast. Had a good time, man.